Nobody knows how my dad met Dennis Hopper, not even my sister, Soleil. So I'm going to tell y'all exactly how it went down from the only person that knows how Dennis and my dad became besties. So this was in 1959. This is like right before my dad meets my mom. And coincidentally, it's right at the time that Dennis Hopper meets Brooke Hayward. Now, let's just say Brooke Hayward and my mother had a lot in common in terms of persona. So in that way, Dennis and my dad, like once that, came up when they first met at one point, I don't know, that was another dovetail. They both had or were or about to have kooky wives. So this is at the Montecito Apartments. This is a gorgeous old Art Deco, very outstanding Art Deco apartment building, maybe, I don't know, 6 stories, something like that, right off of Hollywood, the Hollywood Bowl. So he's living, 1959, he's living tail end, he's living with an actress by the name of Olive, like the food, Deering with 2 E's. She was quite well known. Oh my God, she was like in huge, like Spartacus or whatever the hell. And then she did a lot of television. You'll see Olive Deering a lot as a recurring actress on like Alfred Hitchcock Presents and Twilight Zone and Outer Limits. So they're living together. She is 10 years his senior. And so dad is now, this is not, I don't think, the first actress that he stayed with. And he had just come to Hollywood because remember, we got a whole other Virgil background going, which I'm going to get into real quick. So he wasn't necessarily like fast living at this point, but he got there when he met Dennis. So he was kind of like living sideways, like aspiring actor, but just so green, with the aspiring part or the actor part. Now I'm talking Hollywood because my dad came from Broadway and New York City theater. He was he came actually to Los Angeles to be in the front page, if I'm not mistaken. He had done Broadway, Ghosts on Broadway, and he had done some summer stock. So his background is primarily, almost entirely kind of theater. American Theater Wing is where he studied. Anyway, so he was now climbing in Hollywood, not climbing as an actor, but climbing in Hollywood. Movies, television, obviously. Again, so now we're going into 1960, and they're both meeting their kooky wives, but he was getting inside Hollywood now, having met Dennis, because it wasn't, that's not how they warmed up to each other necessarily. But Dennis had been in giant, Dennis had been in like, a couple of really big movies. In fact, they also had a mutual director friend that they kind of didn't know they had. So Dennis was already on the map, but just not, just not the way they put in magazines at this point, because he then sort of Dennis leans a bit into, I don't want to say like cheesy movies, but like kind of sorta.